Hello everybody, Monica here. I wanted to jump in really quick for a Q&A show for you guys today. Checking my volume. I hope it's working. Let me know if it doesn't. So welcome, and if you are watching live today, please make sure that you post some comments and questions for me. Or you can DM me with questions if you feel like you don't want to publicly ask it. If you're listening to the recording on YouTube or Facebook, also leave me questions. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you need. And what kind of self-treatment, what kind of topic would be most helpful to you? Because I'm all ears. I got big elephant ears, and I'm here to listen to what your struggles may be, or what help you need, or maybe your insight and your experiences that you want to share with others. So today I have a topic that I wanted to touch upon, and I'm not going to be giving you a very specific self-treatment, but I'm going to talk a bit about how to work with the body within this topic. So I've had a really fascinating conversation with a OB-GYN and a naturopathic doctor today, and I was extremely inspired by what she brought in. And by the way, you can watch the entire video interview on YouTube if you want to do that on Empower Your Health TV. So I encourage you to do that. Please go on YouTube and check it out. It was amazing. So what it brought home for me is how we need to think of our body as a connected system. And within the interview, we talked about the hormonal balance and how hormones are interrelated and interconnected within the body, and how they all need to be orchestrated together to play together and to create health. And that is such an important subject. But what I wanted to bring in here, because we're talking about myofascial release, is that we talk about hormones, we talk about the chemicals in the body, they're extremely important. But then we also have to ask, where are those hormones living, right? How do they actually function in the body? What is conducting them? What is allowing them to be reaching the organs? What is allowing them to be produced in a way that's efficient and effective? So then we go into the fascial system. And if you remember, the fascial system is this web of connected tissue. It is a three-dimensional spider web-like structure that spans and connects the entire body all the way down to your cellular system. So all the way down to the teeniest little cell, and within the cell, to the structure of the cell, we have that amazing body connective system called the fascia, or the myofascia, however you want to call it, or really however you want to call it, it doesn't matter. But that system is actually supporting the secretion and the functioning of all the chemicals within the body. Meaning, for example, hormones are chemicals, right? So the connected tissue has to be fluid and open to facilitate that flow and connection. So, for example, if your thyroid is producing hormones, the hormones have to be reaching the receptors, right? I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but in general terms, you get the deal. But say if we have a very solidified tissue, if the fascial system is extremely tight, hard, dehydrated, inflamed, for example, around the throat where we have our thyroid, what happens? The hormones are not being produced properly because the thyroid is being compressed and squeezed by the tight connective tissue. Then it's not being able to produce the chemicals that we need, that are so vital for our health. And that goes for every single organ in the body that produces hormones, and every other organ that produces any kind of chemicals. And because we know now, doctors are saying, and this is what Dr. Gersh that I spoke with today was talking about we need all those hormones within our body to function properly, and they need all to be in balance. They need to be in an interplay, and constantly facilitating our our body's functioning as we go through our daily life. And there's a lot of very important considerations. We have to look at our diet. We have to look at our movement. Are we sitting? Are we all day? Are we watching our computer screens? Are we getting light that is not natural, in excess? Do we have disrupted sleep cycles? Do we are we surrounded, or is our daily life just saturated with toxins, with toxicity? Are we just using plastic constantly? Because all those toxic materials are disrupting the functioning of hormones in our body. However, so this is a very important consideration, and this is what your naturopathic doctors can help you with. This is what your holistic practitioners can help you with. Super important. I think that we need to reach out for help to those people who know how to help us. But then there's this element of fascia. We always talk about it. And when the fascia is restricted and constricted and inflamed and dehydrated, solidified within the body, it doesn't matter how well we eat. It doesn't matter how well we sleep. It doesn't matter if we get rid of all the toxins in our body, because our body is still completely impermeable. It's not receiving the proper nutrients. It's not receiving the proper chemicals to keep it functioning. So this is where that baseline comes in, where we have to take care of our fascial system with different forms of therapy, myofascial release, with movement, with self-treatment, like stretching, like pressure into solidified and tight areas in the body, right? So we're taking care of that baseline, that basic environment that everything's embedded in within the body, right? So I wanted to encourage you to think about it a little bit, and like how, if you want to sit down and maybe take, on the one hand, it's very important, look at your daily life, look at all the elements in your life that maybe are disrupting your health and that you could change. Like, ask yourself questions like, what is my sleep like? What time do I go to bed? Do I go to bed every day the same time? Do I wake up every day the same time? Or is it completely all over the place? Can I change that? Can I improve that? Do I stay up all night watching the screen and getting artificial light into my eyes? Can I change that? Okay. Is my diet really full of toxic elements, like a lot of food additives? Can I change that, right? Am I getting a proper balanced nutrition? Am I eating enough good healthy protein and good vegetables? Is there a balance in my diet? So all those questions super important. You can take a score, write it down. You can make committed to yourself. Like take one day that you have some time off, sit down and write as much as you can about your daily life, all those basic things that you do, which is related to sleep, to food, to movement, to your exposure to light and toxicity, your daily routines, and just take a really critical and objective look at that and ask yourself, what can I improve? Because obviously those things are pretty simple. We all know how to do better. So, but first we have to start with just looking at what it is. But then second point today, super important, like I've been saying, what is the quality of my fascial system? How do I know? So we can evaluate and just start to maybe do a little movement. See if you can start stretching. So this could be a kind of fun thing to do. And you can, yeah, let me stand up. So see, for example, you can stand up and kind of stand. I'm sort of standing, feet planted on the floor, and I'm just sort of opening my arms and closing my eyes. And I may allow myself to just kind of feel into my body, take a few deep breaths. If you cannot hold your arms up, it's okay, you can put them down, but I'm going to keep them up. It will help me. Take a deep breath. Let go. Close your eyes. And just see if your body wants to pull you in certain directions. See if your arms want to extend and stretch. And you just kind of let yourself float a little bit. And then feel your feet on the ground. Feel maybe your hips are going to be, I'm going to be hitting my plants here. So maybe your hips are going to be wanting to move, okay? So you know the deal. You don't have to see what I'm doing exactly, but I'm just sort of letting my body float around. And as I breathe and kind of connect with my body and feel that movement, I can ask myself, where do I feel that I'm open and stretched out, like it's easy to move? Okay, so that's the first question. Where is it easy to move for me? I feel like my arms are moving pretty well. But the second question, so my arms are pretty open right now. Sort of shoulders. I've been doing a lot of stretching on my shoulders. So I'm just enjoying that and acknowledging that there's parts of my body that are pretty open. But then I may ask myself, so what are the parts of my body now that do not feel so open? So I'm going to start sort of moving around again. And you know what I'm feeling is that my hips are pretty stuck. See if I can move my camera, if you can see it or not. But so I'm moving around. So my torso is moving, but I don't feel like my hips are really moving that much. They kind of feel, and even if I start doing this, I start to feel kind of a little bit achy in my lower back. So I'm noticing that maybe I have this thick band around my hips. Okay. This is what I noticed today. I've done some cool exercise in the morning. I went to my CrossFit training and we did a lot of squats. So, you know, I would say my hips are pretty tight today, like a bit achy. So just by doing this, I noticed how there's a difference between my shoulders and my arms moving pretty freely and then my hips being a bit stuck. Okay. So what's next? Because I'm on the path of helping my body to feel good and helping my body to feel fluid and stretched out, I'm going to do some self-treatment, okay? So you remember, and let me grab my ball. Of course, I forgot my friend. So you remember that we use our best friend, the ball, for example, the simplest thing on the planet, right? Which part of my body was feeling like it's stuck, like it's tight, like it's constricted, okay? And then I can lay down on the floor or on the bed and basically put pressure onto that part of the body. I usually would like to lay down on it. So for my hips, for example, let me stand up again. I can lay down on my belly around the front of my hips, or I can lay down on my back, maybe put the ball on my sacrum, which is right here, that sacral bone, or on my glutes. You know, I think this will be a fabulous idea for me today for my self-treatment, to do a little work on my glutes and on my hips, and I will do that later, okay? So remember, we just get on the ball, lay there for 5 or so minutes, breathe deeply, allow the body to soften and relax onto the pressure. The other thing you can do is just simple stretches. And we all know there's a million stretches that you probably have learned from yoga, from exercising. So what I want to encourage you to do, say, you can look up even on, if you don't remember, look up on YouTube, like for example, how to do the pigeon pose or how to do a hip stretch or a twist. And what I want you to do is grab that twist or stretch or whatever pose you are looking at that applies to that part of your body that you felt was tight. And then I want you to modify it. I want you to try to do it, but do not force yourself to stretch as far as you can, okay? Just go to the slightest level of resistance, just a little bit, so that you can rest in that pose with comfort, without struggle, being able to breathe through your whole body. You can always use, you can always use pillows. You can always use support for your body. So make it easy, make it really simple, like you can relax. And then you're gonna set up a timer and set it up for 5 minutes at least, okay? And then hang out on it without watching TV, without watching your phone, without doing anything. Just spend that 5 minutes just with your body, just doing this one single thing. And I guarantee you, if you do that every single day, just committing that 5 minutes minimum, if you do it every single day, this is going to change your life, because you're going to start to really prioritize your health and do things that are very simple and easy to do, so you can see like, oh, I can take care of my health a little bit by a little bit. Okay, so this is just to summarize. Like, I wanted you to just today, without me giving you some specific things to do, I want you to really get that movement and ask yourself, where is my body moving fluidly? Where is my body stuck? And then wherever it's stuck, treat that place. Okay, if you need suggestions, please send me a message or comment on this video. Tell me, hey, Monica, I'm having a hip pain. Can you show me how to stretch that hip? Or my hip is tight or restricted. Tight. I don't move very well in my hips. How do I do that? Show me. Okay, I will do that. Okay, so I just want to hear from you, like, what is helpful? Or you can use the ball too. So let me know what came up for you, what parts of your body felt stuck and constricted. And then it would be wonderful if you want to do that practice or that sort of rundown or evaluate your daily routines. Write it all down without judging yourself, just total objective, as if you're writing something about somebody else. And so you don't judge yourself, because we all do that. We all judge ourselves, like, oh, I didn't go to bed early enough, like, oh my God, so don't judge yourself. Write it down as many different things you can come up with, and evaluate, what are the things that I can improve and change in my daily life that would be simple enough and possible for me. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I really, again, want to encourage you to please tell me what would be helpful for you to hear about. Number two, I have this question that I keep on asking that I would love to hear from you. What is your most burning question about your health? What is your most burning issue that you would like to resolve or get help with when it comes to your health and well-being and feeling good in your body? So please post comments and or send me DMs here on Facebook or post comments on YouTube. And I would love to hear from you and tell me what I should be talking about next week, because I need inspiration. Okay, take good care, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Have a beautiful Sunday. tomorrow, and we'll talk with you next week. Bye bye.